Hello, good evening, everybody. Um,
Hello,
my
everyone.
name is Saqib Bukhari, and I am really thankful to all my guests today, Ankur and Sriram from India, Fahad remotely from Germany, and Mansoor from Pakistan. Uh, Today, our session is about how one can pursue the career in Homeland. Today, we have panelists from Pakistan and India, so mostly we are talking about these two use cases, definitely, after graduation from Germany. And the whole sole purpose of all of this discussion is to get an idea for our audience right now, or maybe who will watch later, that how they can plan or pursue their career in their homeland after graduation from Europe or Germany, for example. So again, I would like to thank all of you. My short introduction: I am Saqib Bukhari. I completed my education from Germany back in 2012, my PhD in the area of artificial intelligence. Since then, I am working in different organizations. Currently, I am in ZF Group in the area of automotive direction. And that's it. And I would like to ask Ankur, please, can you start the short introduction and then maybe others can pick up.
Hello everyone, my name is Ankur Maundia. I completed my master's from Technical University of Kaiserslautern in 2017. My area of specialization was artificial intelligence. And since 2017, I've been working with multiple organizations. Right now, I'm working with Lowe's, which is an American retailer. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Very good evening. Lovely to meet you all. My name is Sriram, and I did my master's in TK Sloan, and then I graduated at March 2019. I mean, I joined at April 2017, and then I finished my master's at 2019. I did my master's project under Saqib, and I then pursued my thesis in Airbus. And I came back to India as soon as I completed, and then I have been doing a freelancing for the past 2 years to an US firm. Thank you. Over to Mansoor.
Thank you very much. My name is Mansoor Ahmed Khan. I have completed my master's in applied computer sciences from TU Kaiserslautern in 2010, and then I tried to pursue a job in DFK, German Research Center for Artificial Intelligence, but at that time they have financial restrictions, so I have waited for some times. But during this course, actually, I found another job uh, in industry in Frankfurt, and then I switched there. So I worked there for this company for 3 years, 3.5 years, and then I switched back to Pakistan due to some family issues and other things. And then I started as my company, Novak Software Technologies, with actually a single person, me alone. And then with the passage of time, now I have around 20 plus colleagues with me in Novak Software Technologies. So this is my brief introduction. So
Okay. So, hi everyone. This is Fahad Mehboob. I completed my master's from Technical University Kaiserslautern in 2016. After my master's in computer science with specialization in software engineering, I plan to move back to Pakistan to pursue my professional career. Since then, since 2016, I've worked with different companies. Currently, I'm working with a company which is operating from Burghausen, Germany. So basically, I'm working for them on and off remotely and from Germany as well. So in Pakistan, I'm managing their software development team, which consists of developers and testers. And in Germany, I'm responsible for client deployments remotely and on premise. So currently, I'm in Germany for a few deployments. That was my brief introduction. Thank you, Sakib.
Thank you very much for the short introduction from all of us. Maybe I can start with some non-technical question first and then maybe move towards some technical directions. The first question first, maybe if Ankur you like, you can start answering and then other can add their comments. Uh, when exactly you plan during your studies in Germany to return back to India for your career?
So actually, when even before when I came to Germany for my studies, the thought of returning back to India or pursuing a career in India was always there. But when I came, I did not know that whether it would be 2 years working in Germany and then coming back, or it would be immediately. But during my master thesis, I felt that if I'm able to get a good job in India, and if there is a career opportunity, then I can think about then I can think about going back to India. And then, yeah, during the master thesis phase, I started feeling that I wanted to go back.
Okay, thanks. Fahad, what about you? You can unmute yourself, Fahad.
Yeah, sorry, it was on mute. So in my case, it was pretty much the same as Ankur. The thought of coming back to Pakistan was always there. So as soon as I completed my masters, I came back to Pakistan. But yeah, I had this plan in my mind that in future, if a good opportunity comes from Germany, after taking some experience from Pakistan, then I might consider going back. So yeah, then a similar opportunity came, and then I decided to, work remotely, or yeah, attach with a company that is also, operating in Pakistan, and at the same time working there in Germany. So yeah, this is brief history about my scenario.
And Mansoor, what about you? Anyone can pick up and then continue.
Yes, actually, I can start with. Actually, I'm the only son of my. So I already know that I cannot stay longer here. So when I came here, I just came here for studies. But during the studies, like we have a very good environment here for research, and I was interested in doing PhD, in pursuing the PhD, and my family also supported at that time. So, and I already told you in the brief introduction that I waited for the opportunity in BFKI, because but at that time they have some financial restrictions and so on. And then I moved to another company in Frankfurt. So, but this scenario was that why I switched to the switched to the companies, that in 2011 actually I find that my father is sick, severe diagnosed cancer. So I know that I have to return at any moment. So in this scenario, actually, I was not able to pursue a longer career in Germany. So that is why I when I got an opportunity from industry, so I thought that okay, I can get some experience, and if I have to go back immediately, then at least I have some industry experience which might help me to find a job in Pakistan. So but later on, when I discussed this scenario with my company, then they allow me to work remotely. That is why I said I started this company as single person, me alone. And then I progressed with the passage of time. So the plan was already there, as I told you, due to my family restrictions, but I have to plan suddenly to return back. So that is my case.
I hope your father is recovering, Mansoor.
Saqib, actually in 2011, October 28 October 2011, he died
Okay.
because he was diagnosed with the third stage of cancer. So the
Sorry
hope
for
was
that.
very less. Oh,
Sorry for
thank
this
you very
question.
much.
Sure.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Shriram.
Yeah. So it's actually the mixed answer of everyone. I would like it was a planned one actually. Like I kind of made up my mind before even starting the masters that I wanted to come back to India as soon as I finish this. My entirely my motto was like do your masters purely for gaining knowledge and expanding your horizon. And I was not thinking about opportunities, job opportunities, and anything at that point. So it's kind of a made up decision that I want to. But like, I mean, I was open to all the options, but then like, kind of in the back of my mind, I always think that okay, it's okay, just go back to hometown. Same like being the eldest son, I had a, and I still have a lot of responsibilities. So that's pretty much it from my side. Yeah.
So maybe I can start with you, Shriram, the second question, because you are
Yep.
already in. When exactly you started applying job in the last phase of your studies, like during masters, or once you return back to your country?
Actually, yeah, I didn't search for any opportunities even after my master's thesis was completed in Germany. I came back here. I took a 2 months break to get relax myself, get off the student feeling per se, and then I started applying for jobs basically. And I took a 2 month break actually, and
Okay,
then I started applying for jobs, and then I eventually landed in the company which I'm working on currently.
okay.
Yeah.
And maybe any other one can add on that, for example, Sriram um started, let's say, can say that once he was there, is anyone else has gone through with the other experience?
So yeah, with me, maybe I can answer that question, Sakib. So when I started immediately when I started my master thesis, I started applying for jobs both in Germany and as well as in India. At first, I was applying only for jobs in Germany, and in middle of my master thesis, I also started applying as and when my decision to go back to India started getting formed in my head. I started applying to Indian organizations as well. So yeah, almost like in the middle of my master thesis, I have started applying for both of them, for both jobs
Okay,
in Germany and in India.
okay. Anyone if like to add some comments? Fahad, uh, for you, what was the case after unmuting yourself?
Sure, Sakib. In my case, when I came back to Pakistan. I then started applying for the jobs. I didn't apply for any job in Germany. So yeah, in my case, it was quite simple. I just came to Pakistan, started applying. So if I remember it correctly, I came to Pakistan in November 2016, and I got a job here in Pakistan in December 2016, and I started with them in January 2017. So yeah, this was my journey.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe for you, Mansoor, we already know that you came there and then you were a single person who was working for your company. So, one specific question to you, Mansoor. Uh, you have now the good company who has 20 plus people, and you started with a single person. So, please shed some light. Have you started a company as a single person with your German customer, or as a remote person from Germany to Pakistan? Can you say the scenario so that people can get some advantage from that? You can unmute, Mansoor.
Thank you very much for reminding. So actually, when I explained this situation to my company that for me it is a bit tough for now to stay here in Germany because my mother and sister are alone here. So is it possible that I can work for you remotely, or can you give me some work? And then they decided that okay, we can try this. And then actually I came here as a remote person. So I was working alone for them remotely. And then actually I start hiring some other people for them and also for some other projects. So that is how actually earlier in the first stage actually when I came here I was working for them as a remote resource. And currently I'm still working with them.
Okay, okay. And just maybe one more question in this direction. So, is it your main customer, and you, in the meantime, got like an open market for other places as well?
Yes, earlier actually in first few years I was not working for anyone, any other customer actually, because honestly speaking, I told them that I will be working for you. So, but later on when they trust develop and they see that we can that this model works, then they I asked them to that can I get some other projects, and they allowed me, and that is how I start extending the my teams. So actually, we are currently working in four different domains: Java, .NET, PHP, and mobile apps. So. And my earlier first customer was is working only in in Java domain. So you can see that the other teams are working for other customers, but mostly are the German customers, because I know some people in Germany. I can speak German, and that is why they get the trust that okay, someone from Germany uh, is will be working on the project, and they have a kind of assurance, or you can also say that they have a sense of feeling that this project will be in good hands. So this helped me to justify the work, and to get some very complex, really very complex projects from Germany, which otherwise will not be able to come to some other companies like us in the remote sense. So we built the B2B platforms, which for a startup, which is currently running, and is very good platform for buyers and suppliers in automobile industry, and some other good projects are the ERP system for a logistic company in Germany, in Buell. But obviously, such projects, I work for other companies. I cannot
Okay.
provide them.
Okay.
So you can say simply that the project management lies to some other company, because they have to speak, they have to visit and the customers, and I do actually the development for them, and provide the support. And sometimes when I visit Germany, then definitely I also visit the customers.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
currently this is how it's working. Thank you.
Great. Fahad, my one question to you. When you were applying for job, so you graduated from computer science in Kaiserslautern. So
Yeah.
what type of job and which companies you are targeting and why? So that maybe it is also some good insight about others, that how to
Yeah.
shortlist the companies for this scenario.
Yeah, sure. So, Saqib, first of all, when I started, applying for the job, the main thing I had in my mind is what should be the, area I'm gonna pursue my career in. So, at that time, I decided that, okay, I have to, get myself aligned in technical support and consultancy field. So I started to apply for the similar roles. I think I applied for 3 to 4 companies, and from them I got a call from 2 companies. I got offer from 2 companies. I selected one and started job with them. So in this case, from my side, I would say the key was to be concise to the point. So if you see the job, the job description, you have to pick up the keywords. So those keywords should be there in your CV. If you think that the job is relevant for you, and it goes in line with your area of expertise, so you have to pick the right words, and you have to tailor your CV according to that. So
Okay.
this was the main thing in my case, and secondly, the cover letter was very important. And I think both of these things also matters a lot when you are applying the jobs in Germany. So I pretty much followed the same model people are, practicing in Germany to apply for different jobs. So yeah, the CVs should be concise to the point, and the cover letter should be good. So this played out for me. Yeah.
Maybe one question to you, Ankur, in the similar direction, because you are right now in the field of machine learning, data analysis. So, how you were looking for companies? Because mostly in Germany we have applied research, applied usage of these technologies. So, how you were shortlisting the companies for these areas in India?
So the case with me was, Sakib, that because I had a chance to work in DFKI as a Hiwi and had some experience working on AI-based technologies. So I was trying to find work in similar areas. So the way I approached it was that I used LinkedIn a lot. So LinkedIn is a social media platform for jobs. So I was looking at LinkedIn a lot, and I was reaching out to people who were working in similar areas. and then send them messages and asking if they had some sort of openings in these areas. And many of these connections I was able to convert into interviews and discussions. And then I was able to shortlist possible roles that I could do. So, and when it comes to research in the industry here in India, we are still using more robust and proven research for working. So what happens is things which have been proven in theory and for which a good technical support or APIs or technologies are available, we tend to use those more.
Okay. Good. Thank you. One question to you, Shriram, please. You opted for freelancer. So may I ask, if it's not too personal, that why you opted for freelancer, not for the 9 to 5 job? I mean,
Uh,
freelancer may be a 9 to 5 also, but sorry, I formulated in a
yeah,
wrong way. Why you opted for
yeah,
freelance other than the company? Yes.
yeah, sure. Okay, Saqib. I mean, it's more of a. I mean, I have no actually. As Anko told, like after my 2 months break, like I started looking for jobs. Like since my specialization is AI, and then I specifically targeted companies, especially for AI, for the role of it. Same way, like I use LinkedIn, and apart from that, like I used a lot of my friends' connections also because like every company now was having a branch of AI in their firm, and then we have a lot of openings here. Uh, so I mean, I started applying for like two, three, four companies, something like that. But the thing is, like, as I graduated, and then I was a fresh graduate, right, of an AI. I don't have I have a previous 5.5 years of software experience, but I don't have an experience with ML or AI. So the company were a bit restrictive, or they were reluctant to like hire me because they would, for AI mostly, they would be looking for an experienced personnel actually. And moreover, the market area is different in Western countries and as well as from India. I could not vouch for Pakistan, but then as far as India is concerned, like uh, they can't invest so much in R&D and then hire you and then like pay you as a researcher. I mean, they want a like a full-time developer. So that was like there was a bit of a downside, but then so I thought like I know this freelancing portals and all those when I was working in Germany itself. So then I thought, like, why not give it a try? And then that's where I put up my profile and everything. And then actually, to my surprise, there were a lot of AI projects, and then there were a lot of opportunities in freelancing. And then it luckily clicked out for me, and then that's how my career started with the current firm. So there were a lot of projects and portals also, like fixed bid projects and long-term projects. Luckily, I could. They had a short interview, and then they asked me to do a small project, and they were completely satisfied with me, and then that's how I started my career with the currently working company. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for the comment.
Thank you.
Maybe my
Excuse
next
me,
question.
Saqib. Excuse me, Saqib. Can I ask Sri a short question, please? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
please, please.
Uh,
You can ask. You Yeah, it's a discussion. Sorry to consider a mood that I should not be the only one. But if you have any question to anyone, please raise the question. Thank you very
Sure,
much,
sure.
Mansoor. Yes.
so Sri, actually, just for my interest, so
Yeah.
are you continuously working for one company, or are you working on project base?
Like at the beginning, I was working on project based, but then one company was actually completely interested, and then they asked me to do a full time employment for them, and
Okay, very
so
good.
I'm currently doing a full time freelancing for an US firm actually. Yeah.
Okay. So, in the beginning, actually, when you do not know much about AI, then will it be a tough job for you because you don't have the previous experience? Was it a tough thing for you
No,
for at least
actually,
first project?
yeah. No, that's not actually. I mean, like I did my master's project under Saqib, so I mean, it's not like I don't have the companies who are trying to
Okay,
hire me
fine.
had the
Yes,
reluctance.
yes.
And I did my thesis in Airbus as well, so I had a. Uh, I would not grade myself like 8 out of 10, but then I had an experience of at least 6 out of 10 for machine learning projects and then coding
All
and
right.
research. So yeah, so I had the knowledge, but then to transfer it to an actual like company perspective, like it's kind of a learning curve. It's not a Uh,
Yes.
it
Okay.
just like all other jobs. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Uh,
Okay.
maybe Fahad, then maybe I can ask you one question. How it ended up for you to work in a company in Pakistan that has customer from Germany? Did you knew it before when they were taking your interview during applying for this company, or it happened? I mean, I would just like to understand this scenario, that it was a pre-planned thing that you opted for this company because they have customers in Germany, or how it emerged.
Okay, so Saqib, actually, this is my third job in Pakistan. Actually, I didn't apply it for this job. They approached me, I think, through LinkedIn. They saw my profile. They saw that I have some previous experience, of getting my master's from Germany, and I know some basics of German. So that's why they approached me because they were looking for someone with a similar profile. Yeah, then so I had no plan, to switch the job, but then this opportunity came, and I opted for this. So yeah, this was the whole scenario at that time.
Okay, okay, good,
Yeah.
nice. So maybe totally one other question to all four of you, mainly to Fahad and Mansoor, because they are currently engaged in the German companies as well. But maybe Ankur and Sriram also add the points on that. How you guys think? Because in Germany, German language is, from my point of view, should be very productive for getting good job options or more job options.
Yeah.
You guys in Pakistan or in India working for a German customer, how important or how much role German language is playing in this scenario?
Fahad, can you start with first, and then I can
Yeah,
add?
sure. So in my case, as I told you, the company who approached me, they approached me for one of their client operating from Burghausen, Germany. So their client requested them to, hire for them someone who knows German and who knows German culture. So I had a similar profile, and I was, in this case, lucky enough to get this call from them, and then they told me that they discussed with me the job and the description of the job, and yeah, it played out. When we have meetings, weekly team meetings, they are comfortable having me in those meetings because I can understand a bit of German, and yeah, things are a bit more easier. When we know German culture and German language, it really helps out to work for a company that is operating in Germany and obviously have close ties in countries like India, Pakistan. So yeah, this goes both ways. I can help them on both the ends in Germany for, as I told you, for client deployments, and in Pakistan they have a development team. So I'm managing that development team for different change requests and testing of their products.
Good, thank you, Mansoor.
Yeah,
Actually, I would say there are two types of companies in Germany: very high level international companies, and and the second level of companies are the mid level companies, which are basically working in Europe and Germany. So for international companies, they speak English, and so they have the documentation and everything is in English. So
yeah,
if you go there, then it's not a big thing. It's not a big problem. But if you go to the mid-sized companies, then it's really a big problem
yeah,
because they have everything in German actually. And when I joined this company in Frankfurt, I think I was the only person who cannot speak very good German, and they suffer a bit because obviously I was hired as a senior resource, and to be honest, actually I have the feeling that my efficiency is reduced because of this language, because everything was in German, even the software was in German, so I have to find out the simple the things. But later on with the passive time, I'm a little bit stubborn, so instead of changing the job, I try to learn the things, and I learned it quickly. So German language is really a must thing because even if they are working for international things, but most of the people in Germany, even in the technical fields, cannot speak German very good. Oh, sorry, English very good. They can speak some little words, but in for technical terms, actually, they always rely on German languages. So if you really want to progress in German companies, and then language is a must go. Otherwise, you will be contained in some specific kind of backend roles. They cannot present you or lift you up to the next role. So actually, if we do not learn this language, then it is also a problem for the company and their progress. So German is really a must in Germany.
Thank you to both. If Ankur and Sriram can add some comments on German language, please.
So, not on the language, but I had a chance to work for a European organization after coming back to India. So for some time, I was working for a company which was uh, based out of Nice in France. So at least the cultural understanding or that played a big role. So when we are meeting with somebody who knows that we have worked in Europe or we have had education in Europe, that was really helpful. That was very good in building that trust. So not from a language perspective, but from a culture perspective, it helped Saqib a lot.
Okay, this is a very, very nice and important point too. Thank you, Ankur. Sriram, if you have any experience regarding this aspect while returning after returning back.
Yeah, like all my search was actually localized in India, right? So the clients which I have applied for also is actually based out of either India or US. So it was not much of a, I mean, thought actually like to have the German as aspect. But then, like, I mean, as Ankur said, the degree, the master's degree from the Germany, and as well as like, I mean, exposing yourself as an international student rather than a student from India itself added a certain a weight or a kind of it is kind of an added ratio to your profile. So it kind of like boosted your profile. But as far as the language perspective, I was not barking on that
Okay.
area. So yeah, that was from my side.
Okay. Maybe Ankur, I would like to get your comments on one question. I know in India and Pakistan, there are already very good universities. For example, if I name IIT in India or UET in Pakistan, for example, or maybe many others, I'm just naming few. So you graduated from Germany, and when you were applying, did you have a feeling or you noticed that while giving interviews or while talking with HR or even till today, how much your education from Germany or degree from Germany is still helping you in a positive way?
It is so very interesting question, Saqib. So a few points I would like to make is that uh, a degree, an international degree. So there are a lot of people in India working in industry who have masters or even PhD degrees from various universities of India, but having an international national degree, like Shri said, does add to your credibility. And also, if we have had a chance to do some sort of research, patents, or publications from the department or from an institute like DFKI, that really adds to our profile. And people are very, very interested and impressed by if we have such kind of mentions on our profile.
Okay, that's thank you very much for this comment. Um, Maybe the same question to Fahad and others, Sriram and Mansoor. Can you please add on what type of, let me call it like advantage, because you already come out from your comfort zone and came to Europe in Germany and then did your master and then went back. So it's already a life learn lesson and a lot of hassles to stay alone and complete your degree and then return back. So how much benefit you are getting for this effort that you did your masters from Germany and then return back? So is still this benefit is paying off you guys?
Yeah, so Mansoor, if you want to start, please.
Yes, as I told you that my whole company is actually reside on this thing. because I have studies from Germany. I know the people in Germany. I can speak German language, so that is why obviously I said in the beginning that it really adds the make of sense of credibility, that this is the person with whom they can work. He knows the work culture, he knows the time. So it means if you said 28th of January, then it is 28th of January, and things like that, because this is a part of the German culture. And if it is no, then it is no. If it is yes, if it is yes, do not say yes for everything. So these are the things they actually the people are really concerned about that, because these are the culture in India. Pakistan people actually get depressed or get some tension, and they say yes, okay, we can do this. But when it does not work, then the customers or the other persons actually feel bad, and they says that if it is not doable, then do not say that. So these are the things actually adds the credibility, that with the education, that these are the person which might understand or this culture, because it's really important.
Okay. Anyone else, please?
Yeah, I would like to add one more point actually. I mean, I could feel that I got a lot of questions. Like, actually, I mean, why are you going back to India as soon as you're done with it? Like, even people who are currently studying in Germany would have this conflict between them. Like, should I go back or should I stay here? I mean, a lot of people undergo this stress actually. Uh, but then, like, it's a hard choice actually to to decide whether to like, stay in Germany and pursue the job there or to just come back. Uh, but in this scenario, like I could see that like 80% of the 80% of the students, I would say, is like looking for a career change. I mean, they wanted to like they would be on certain path that they wanted to like change their career to something interesting or something they wanted to. So that's why they come to masters, and then they prefer to stay in Germany. The rest of 20%, 10%, I would say that come for the now I mean to change their specialization basically, like not just career, just specialization. Because like I was a software developer for Java and web development, but then I wanted to see the cutting edge of the other end, so that's why I chose AI, and then I pursued. So the rest 10%, that's where people like us come in. Like we had like responsibilities and all those stuff, so that's where we had to like come back here. But then at the end of the day, as long as we are gaining knowledge in the relevant field, I don't think they have to like feel any regret that like they would be like they have going back. I mean, they could have pursued job on that. So I think that's the point I was just wanted to make to
Thank you.
someone who is in conflict already.
Mhm. Ankur or Fahad could have any comment on
Y-
that.
Yeah, so Saqib, I would like to add here. So when I came back to Pakistan, I never thought that I'm losing something or something like this, because even the smallest things we have learned from our master's degree in Germany. For example, drafting skills. For example, as Mansoor said, how to say yes when it's a yes and how to say no when it's a no. So even the smallest things like that pays you off when you are back home, to pursue your career. So yeah, these sort of things really add to your profile and brings a value to the company you intend to work for. So yeah, I can't really recall. It can be a big list. You know the things that we learn during our master studies from Germany. So yeah, I think there are a lot of things from communication to drafting to all the way, being blunt and being very precise on your responsibilities, and yeah, things like that. So these types of things really play out.
Thanks for that. Yes.
Just just to add one more point actually, the one major like a change between Indian universities and I mean like and the German universities. I felt was like we are responsible for what we are studying, but like in India, I would say that like your entire timetable is charted out for you, and then you have to follow some schedule. But as well as like they would actually guide you through all this 3 years course or something like like this is how the path will go. But as far as the German university is concerned, it was like completely open ground. It was like it's how we want to pursue. So we had to manage our time, we had to manage our career, and so that was a major difference between Indian universities and
Okay,
even with
like
big universities like IITs. Yeah.
okay. So maybe I can move to my towards my end questions. Actually, uh, all the questions that I would like to ask or you would like to ask with us is mainly for giving the guidance to those who will watch this video or who you can also recommend to watch this video. The question that I'm going to ask is maybe a typical one or difficult, but you can answer diplomatically. So you don't need to answer it exactly. But definitely, this question comes in the mind of the people because they have friends in Germany or Europe. When they start job in Germany, they have some pay scale and they start earning. When people go back, they might have some different thoughts. How much we will earn in Pakistan or India? Is it comparable to what my friends who are doing job here? So please, as I said, it is a difficult question. If someone asks me that, maybe I can answer it uh, in in a way that at least I can be helpful for others. So please, if you have any comments on that, it would be really appreciable from my side.
Yeah, so Saqib, I can start on this.
Mhm.
So I think it's a very good question. Obviously, I mean, it's about stakes whenever you are moving to back to your country and making this big decision. Financial conditions do matter. So yeah, I think here I would like to give a few suggestions, a few tips. For example, if you plan to go back to your country, you should be very clear what kind of career do you want to pursue, what is the field that you want to start your job in. So this is the first thing, and the second thing, in my opinion, is that you should know your worth. You should know what all you have learned and what all you can deliver. Yeah. If you're clear about that, then only you are able to negotiate well with the potential employer. Then you know that okay, what is that I can take out from them, and what all I can deliver to them. And yeah, so these are some things that you should keep in your mind while applying for jobs, and while you have some discussion with different employers, or potential negotiations. I would suggest never settle for anything that doesn't suits you, or that doesn't suits your profile. So you should know your worth, your capabilities, your strengths, and of course the value you have added to pursue your career by doing masters from Germany. So these are some points. If you're careful about these points, I think you would be paid very well even in your home countries. So this is something that played out for me, and I'm sure this can play out for others as well if they try.
Thank you very much, Fahad.
Yeah.
So maybe Saqib, I can add a few points here. So interestingly, when I was doing a job search in Germany and in India at the same time, I had offers both from Germany. So I was able to secure a job offer in Germany, and I decided to fly back to India once I had a job offer in India. So of course, the pay scales will be different, but also we should realize the expenses are different. So I mean to say, if it is like comparing apple to oranges in a certain way. uh, there is immense possibility for growth in one's career in all places in India or elsewhere in our home countries. There is very big possibility for huge growth, and with the added skill that you are bringing to the table, with the added experience that you are bringing to the table, it is possible that you can excel very rapidly in your career. So Uh, in a short term, it might seem one choice is preferable over the other, but in the long term, it will easily play out in your benefit. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Ankur.
Uh, to add on that point, Saqib, just wanted to add on. Good. I mean, I completely agree with him. Like the cost of living is very different from Germany and India. But I mean, as Hart said that we should know our worth before selling ourselves. Actually, that's a good point. I mean, normally there will be an average market salary which will be provided in each and own country for an AI engineer or for any software engineer for that matter. Like they will, like all the companies will offer some average salary. I mean, it will be across the same. So the points which will boost that salary perspective is, of course, like the degree from Germany is actually a big boost. Like they are fine to like pay big bucks to someone who knows the stuff. So that's one point. And the second point is like there are a lot of different companies. Like there are service oriented companies and product based companies. So if the service oriented companies tend to pay less, but when you go for a product based companies, like even from like German companies like Bosch or Kohler or anything like for that matter, like they are uh, paying like a market worth. Like even they are trying to pay the same pay scale of what we'll get offered in Germany as well. So, and of course, like there is the freelancing perspective, so that when you cut the middleman, you will get the most advantage. So that is also the salary perspective option. But then it's going to be a bit of a run when you're searching for a job as a fresher. But then I won't think it's a downside. Like that the pay scale is so different that it will be like very less in Homeland and compared to in Germany. But it's a personal choice at the end of the day. Like it will be there will be some gap, but then it's completely fine. I would say it's not as Ankur said. In the long run, it will eventually play out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sriram. Mansoor, if you could add something on this point, you can unmute, please.
Thank you. I would say that Fahad has summarizes very good. Actually, these are the basics for negotiation, and you one should know his worth. Especially in our countries, there are very less people who are graduated from abroad, and definitely companies want to hire such persons so they can improve their profile, because it really helps them to justify their costs, plus someone which can basically communicate with the customers in a good pattern, and I would say uh, in similar language in a sense of not just the German language, but at least you know the culture, you know the people, and if you tell them that okay, yes, I was in Germany and so on, I did this one, then definitely they have a connection, and this is a big thing for the companies actually, and they pay extra. I would say that they really pay extra for such resources, but obviously at the end it's one has to justify their his or her worth, and if it is justifiable, then companies do not want to lose any such resources, because they currently resources are short in market, and especially the persons who has higher education, because mostly people who go abroad live there. They are not willing to come, so there are very less options, and obviously anyone who is coming back, he get little less pay, but I would say that it is okay. All of my friends, and you also know some of them, who came back and start working in Pakistan, I would say they are actually satisfied with their lives. Actually, the first thing is that you have family there. Even if you are not earning too much, and it pays your bills and some other things, then it works. So the people who came back actually, they do not have that much opportunities, for example, in research, like you have in Germany, like the other people have in Germany. But obviously, then again, parity. So you
It's
have
a
to choose
balance.
what is, yes, you have to choose what is more important at this moment for you. So the people can stay very good here, I would say.
I'm really, really thankful to all four of you for giving such very nice comments about this complex question. And this will be really helpful for me if I someone ask me directly, or if someone see this video, because there are always your worth, the balance, what advantages you are getting there, and how in the short term and long run you can see your salary. So thank you very much. Now I will ask the last question to all four of you, and one by one you can comment. But before this question, I would like to give the reason of this question. I am very fortunate enough to have four like you as my friend, and you all four have a different profile. It's amazing. For example, Ankur is right now working in an emerging field of AI. On other hand, Sriram is a freelancer. Mansoor is has already established, let me say, Mansoor, please, his own company after a lot of struggle. And Fahad is working remotely for a German company. It is very amazing mixture of these four different scenarios. So if someone is looking one of these scenario, please suggest him or her. If someone is like to do freelancing or AI field or remote for Germany or establish his own company, so what do you suggest him as your final words, that what to focus on and how to think for it and what to be prepared for? Anyone can start, please.
Okay, in that case, I will start first, I guess.
Mhm.
Uh, I would say, like, as far as the freelancing is concerned, I would not say like it will only work out in the AI perspective. The I mean, the software has become so international that like nobody requires an office anymore, and with all this COVID-19 and stuff, it has become globalized, and everything has been shifted to work from home culture. So, and freelancing has all the areas of software working, like web development, Android, iOS development, even AI, anything like backend server, like maybe like I mean, a large scale development would not be possible with freelancing, but then like the area is quite shifting to that culture. So and even when we are searching jobs in like in companies, they are well aware of like the value the resource is going to bring to them. So there is no difficulties lies in like either doing freelancing or as well as in the I mean job in a company in a physical company. So the thing is like the getting out of the comfort zone is a bit difficult point, because like when the first question when everyone asks like okay, what is freelancing, like how did that work out, do you have the job security, that was the first point. Like I got a lot of questions like when I said that I'm doing a freelancing, actually, because the question about the job security will always be very good in terms of like a physical company, but in case of freelancing, it's a question. I would agree that it's a I mean like I would not say it's a con, but then it has its downsides. But it's actually the risk you're taking to actually get a very good prospective. So if it works out, you will like have a good exposure, and most of them will be startup, and then you'll have a very good learning curve. So I would say that the freelancing is actually a good and viable option for not only AI, for all the software
Can,
fields. Yeah,
can you suggest any good platforms for that works
yeah,
for
yeah. Of
you?
course.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So the leading freelancing portal platform is Upwork.com, as many of you know. There is another like a freelancer.com. There is like Fiverr, FIVRR, and there are a lot of like even LinkedIn actually does this. Like LinkedIn has a lot of opportunities for remote working also. Stack Overflow, we could able to see some ads in the slides. They have a very really good profile of remote jobs also. So I would say that like any one of these is more than sufficient to find you a perfect job. The leading one is Upwork.com. So if anybody wants to try it, I would suggest recommend the site.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comment.
Thank you. Thank you, Sakib.
So maybe I would add a few points. So if somebody is looking to come back to their home country or to India after they have completed their masters, my advice would be that if they decide to do so, it is very much a very good career option. From my own experience, I can say that you are not missing out on anything. You will there is ample opportunity to work at very very good organizations and grow in personal life and as well as your career. And it is true that uh, circumstances can vary or will be different from country to country. In Germany, the kind of lifestyle that you have, you would not have the same kind of lifestyle here. But there are many upsides here as well. I mean to say, for example, if somebody is very much attached to their family, it is a very very good option to come back and start a good career. There are enough opportunities for all of us here as well.
May I add one thing, Ankur? For example, if someone in the field of AI and machine learning, on daily basis we are getting. Sriram can also second my question, second my comment. On daily basis, we are getting new networks, new deep learning networks. So
Correct.
just please give some comments that if someone is coming back, then he is a geek. I mean, he is a lover of trying these new things. So would he have a chance even working in the industry?
Yes, yes. It is true. One very interesting thing that I realized after coming back and working in the industry, I realized that the problems that we solve in research versus the problems that we solve in corporate, the big difference is that of a scale. So many a times what happens is things which work well in research will not be able to translate very well into the industry.
Exactly.
And for that, what happens is many a times you have to reach out or have to try a lot of things on our own. So it is possible that there is actually research applied to solve this problem. So you are basically trying reading what is the state of art, what is the latest thing out there, what is the latest publication. So actually it is so surprising that after coming back to India, I continued my research. I had chance to publish some papers. So
Very good.
so yeah, there is as I said, there is ample opportunity and enough interesting problems to solve. Uh, 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 Also, the problems that we face here in terms of scale, in terms of robustness that you need in a system, is also quite interesting aspect. So it is possible, and with the availability of papers and models and everything, it is quite open now. So it is possible to be pretty much in to deal with
Active
state
in
of
the
the
field.
art. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comment. Yes, Fahad, maybe you. You can unmute Fahad.
Yeah, thanks for reminding Saqib. So I would maybe like to add here that whether you are planning to, stay in Germany to pursue your career, or whether you are, planning to go back to your home country, as I said earlier, you should be clear on your about your goals. If you, you literally know about your value and all your strengths, I think you can easily settle for what you deserve. So, for example, in my case, I worked for three companies in Pakistan, and literally I was being paid better than what I am being paid in Germany right now. So, yeah, it totally depends about it totally depends on the clarity of your goals, on your strengths. So you shouldn't be worried about taking the step. If you want to go back, just try it. Go back, apply for different jobs, see how you get the response. And if you eventually realize that, okay, this isn't playing out for me, or I should be working in a better conditions in Germany, then you always have the option to come back, because as far as I know, Germany still gives 1.5 years of job search visas after master's degree. So yeah, options are open, and as Ankur said, there are immense opportunities in Homeland. There are some good multinational companies who are working with uh, different companies across the globe.
Fahad,
So yeah, yeah, sure,
one is very specific question.
yeah, sure.
You were contacted by LinkedIn for this third job that you did
Yes,
very remotely. Let's say
yeah,
if a person is coming to Pakistan and in the beginning he might have this career plan that 2 3 years I will be working in Pakistan because of any reason, personal reasons or
Mhm.
whatever, and then
Yeah,
he might have a plan to go back. In such
yeah,
a case, maybe he will be looking for companies or software houses in Pakistan which have already a close relation with Germany. So in
yeah.
such a case, how he could search job, he can easily, these things are easily visible on the very front pages of the companies, or it is very deep inside somewhere.
Okay, so in my case, I didn't look for one. Actually, this third company approached me and gave an overview about a job opportunity. But if one is to search a similar company, then they can visit the websites of the company, look for their offices in different countries. So, for
Okay.
example, the company I was approached by is Strategic Systems International. They have offices in different countries, and they do have an office in Munich, uh, to cater their clients in Germany. So yeah, this could be one way, to look for a company who have offices in Germany, and
Okay.
in that case, they can be aligned with someone, with some of the clients of that company, uh, you know, who are in Germany.
Okay, thank you very much for these comments also. Mansoor, maybe you can, if someone would like to start its own business, definitely it is another hard way, but please sum up your efforts or sum up your life journey to give some lessons or some guidance.
I think you're on
You
mute. Yeah.
you can unmute Mohsin. I think it's from the system.
Actually, I tried to start a company even from Germany. Actually, a startup, and I also joined the Founder.io. They are startup launching company, and I was visiting them in Berlin from Frankfurt for every Friday for 2 months, but
Mhm.
but somehow this does not work out. But this thing was in my mind because I know that I have to go back, and my family situation is so that I cannot stay long here. So this thing was in my mind, but as I told you that all of the sudden all of the sudden my family situation changes, and I talk with my company, and they supported me in the beginning. Actually, the problem is that if you work for the company, there are two kind of companies. If the company is too big, they might not support you, and because they don't need your support in that way, or they cannot take they do not rely much on persons. They rely on processes. But in mid-sized companies, actually, they rely on persons. They have the processes, but obviously persons are very important, so for mid-sized companies. So in my case, actually, the domain in which the company was working was very complex. CMS, so CSM, customer satisfaction management. They have good customers, but the domain is very tough. Even a good person needs 1 year to understand it. So giving such tasks to anyone else remotely is actually a very challenging task. Actually, a very challenging task, because it needs a lot of effort, and no one is willing to put that effort. So that is why actually in my case, it was I was lucky enough to get some work for them from them, and then actually it helped me to extend my team, my resources, and my capabilities in the companies. But actually, they were supportive, and I told you the reason that the domain was actually really tough. It is very hard for someone to understand these domains and the terminologies, and that is why they decided that might be I have already worked with them for at least 3 years now. Then at that time, and and then actually they take some risk and give me the task. In the beginning, I would say that it was not too optimal, honestly speaking, but with the passage of time, it stabilizes, and now they are satisfied.
Mansoor, maybe I ask please one question, very specific. If a person who doesn't have this scenario which you had, and he still had a wish to do the startup in Pakistan, so do you recommend like founder.io in Berlin, for example, in Pakistan? Do you know any such
Actually,
agencies or organizations?
Founder.io is also in Pakistan. There's also a good startup culture in Pakistan, a really good structure. But obviously, the startup companies do not pay your bills, so I have to support my companies, my family. From this perspective, initially you have to take risk, no salary, nothing like that. So they provide you some finances to start with, but obviously it's a big journey. So in my case, actually, it was a bit lucky that I get a remote job, but with less pay. But
Okay.
with less pay, not the same pay which I was getting. Actually, the less pay, but at least it pays my bill, and I was with my family, as I explained to you. Therefore, I said it's okay. Because I really want to go back, but obviously, if you want to start a company, several people have did this, but it's really hard. Honestly speaking, it's really hard. You have several hats on your head. You are the HR, you are the technical lead, you are the technical support. So everyone is you in the beginning. So even after some, even at this time, actually, there are several hats on my head. So it's not that easy because I have little finances. I do not have a very big project which for which I can hire project managers and support persons and so on. So that is why I have to survive. Actually, I have to sacrifice myself actually
Okay.
to move forward. So it's a bit tough, but it's doable. Actually, it all depend upon the persons. If you are a little harder, I think Saqib, you are a very hard person. I know that. I know you from last hour. If you want to start, then you can do this. But if someone
Thank you.
else is no problem. Actually, I'm telling you the honest way. But if someone has have some restrictions that okay, family time and this time at this time, I'm in the office at this moment because I have some issues. I cannot go home, and so I came here for this meeting because I think that it is important. So actually, you have to sacrifice a lot. Even after this meeting, actually, I have a deployment. So
Okay.
even on the Sundays, Sunday times actually. So sometimes it happens. So you have to sacrifice, but it works. If with the passage of time, it takes time.
I know. If any one of you have any comment, or it's already done.
All I can say is like
Okay.
bravo, congratulations. Yeah,
Okay.
that,
Let me
that's all I'll
let me
say.
say from the core of my heart, you all are very hardworking people. I know personally all four of you, and I am extremely thankful for your time and your especially your comments. Believe me, I am feeling really happy that I hope that this contents will help the other people who have many maybe if not all questions are answered, but at least some questions. And definitely the process is lifelong. All questions can be answered in different phases of the life, but I'm really thankful to you, to all of you, for your time, for your comments, and your openness. Thank you very much from the core of my heart.
Thank you, Ashish.
Our
And
pleasure,
please
I'm
Saqib.
really fond.
Thank,
stay connect with me. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Sure,
thank you,
sure.
Mr.
Definitely.
Saqib.
Bye.
You're
Thank you.
Lovely to
welcome.
have you.
Bye bye.